hundreds of millions of years. When I was looking at the new Paul Newman autobiography, and he said, I was just working, I'm so handsome. But I look at his handwriting, it's a very high-level handwriting, very intelligent man. The reasons why, people rise to the top. I think the book is called Extraordinary Life of an Ordinary Man, something like that.
Can you tell somebody's personality almost right away, Mark, when you look at his handwriting?
Stories. I'd be looking, in these fairs, these psychic fairs. And I see this man over in the corner, he's laughing, telling jokes with some guy in the far corner. He comes over, he says, his handwriting, and I analyze it. He got a great sense of humor. He said, how do you know? I said, because I saw you telling jokes over in the corner. But, he cracks up laughing. But, you can tell, you can tell attention to details, you can tell the forgetful, the forgetful, the eyes. You can tell this place aggression. Sometimes people have too much pressure, uneven pressure. Or if the handwriting it often suggests that the parents have opposite views, so they're being pulled in two different directions. Just incredible all the things you can really tell from handwriting.
If you had to give yourself a title today, what would that be?
Biggest pimple of all time?
I like to think of myself as a scientist who deserves the Nobel Prize. He discovered that our own antibodies are producing ozone. So if that's happening, then always we want to study the immune system. I can't believe how complicated it is. I have a number of textbooks on the immune system. I can only read the first chapter. After that, it's too difficult. It's really, really complicated. But I think of myself as a scientist. I'm an author. I've written 4 novels as well. I am a handwriting expert. In fact, I have a case I'll be testifying next week in a forgery case. So I don't know. I do a lot of different things. And I'm an expert on Tesla. I love the Tesla story. Oh my gosh, it's such an incredible story.
When you analyze handwriting, do you need the original, or can you do it off a Xerox copy?
It's right to get the original, but in this day and age, you often get PDFs that are emailed to you and tell it from regular.
Is it easy to forge somebody else's signature these days?
No, it's very hard because you have to subvert your own handwriting impulses, your own muscle memory, and then take on someone else's. The Photoshop, you can cut and paste, but Photoshop is complicated as well because there's different densities. So if you take an original document and then you Photoshop, take another signature from another document, some of the aspects of that won't have the same density as the document that it's been put on. And I just testified a couple months ago where you could show clearly that it was a cut and paste job. So Photoshop has made my life a little bit more difficult, but it's very hard to forge. We each have our own unique personality, and it's just a fascinating topic.
Does an individual's signatures change as they change?
Some people have variations in their signatures, and it evolves. A lot of executives come up with a rapid signature that's kind of illegible, but then they can go back and write it more legibly if it's an important document, like a will, or a giant loan or something like that. So it depends on the person. Some people are more rigid, so they write it the same way over and over again. Some people are more flexible. Some people are more variable. Tesla's handwriting changed a lot. In fact, when he thought he could see pulse frequencies from the Martians, and I would say the N in his name was very small. It's a very tiny N. And
yes, no, well,
like so his signature changes radically. And when his plans and work stuff fell apart, his handwriting fell apart in 1906. So I showed that he had a nervous breakdown in 1906. But then his handwriting rebounded, came back. He's full blast, to his old self. He went through a horrible period, and you could see it reflected in his handwriting.
Can you tell if somebody's left-handed or right-handed through a signature?
Usually you can, and the way you tell is a T-bar. A righty goes from left to right, a lefty goes from right to left. And so if you look at which way the T-bar is
fascinating, and your work is fascinating. Mark's website is linked up at coasttocoastam.com. He's also on Twitter and Facebook. So he's got a little social influence there. The book we're talking about tonight, The Science of the Promise of Healing with Ozone. What's it going to take to get this legal? What do you think?
I want Congress, the senators and congressmen to get my book, Ozone Therapy, if you're thinking about it, just read it. You're going to see that the evidence is so clear that this is simply enhancing what our own immune system is already doing. Our own immune system produces. In one of the books that I read, that if you stepped on a splinter, you would die within a day if we didn't have an immune system, because it multiplies so rapidly. Our white blood cells are manufactured 100,000 per second. Our red blood cells, 2 million per second.
Well, of course, if you want to talk about handwriting, we'll do that too.
The Coast website is now streamlined for mobile devices. Great news if you're a Coast insider or simply want to enjoy our website on your phone. Visit coasttocoastam.com on your iPhone or Android browser.
Shout to Mikey Bradley. Bye. Bradley. People are leaving. What happened to your face? Yeah. It's just very to the point, kids.
You lost your cat up the street?
Yeah, he's way up there and scared to come down.
Hang on, I'll get him for you.
Be careful, mister.
Thanks, kid. Here you go.
Where did you come from? And where's your mask and cape?
What? Oh, no, your mom and dad called us to clean out your shower drain.
Why?
They were up a tree, too.
Really?
Your drain was really clogged, backing up, and we have to stop that nasty stuff from invading your bathroom.
So you're a hero?
Try to be, every day. We're rooter heroes.
Wow.
We make sure you live in a safe, clean house. So long.
Thanks for rescuing George.
It's what a hero does.
Go online at rooterhero.com.
One of America's most popular news channels is Newsmax. Many people watch Newsmax for news and perspective you're not going to hear from other networks. Try Newsmax and discover why the left is trying to silence their voice. For good reason, it's becoming one of the most popular channels in America. Tuning in every night for Greta Van Susteren, Rob Schmidt, Eric Bolling, Greg Kelly, and much more. No surprise, Newsmax is already the 4th highest rated cable news channel and growing fast. You can get Newsmax on most cable systems. Check your channel guide. Now, if they don't carry Newsmax, you switch to one that does. And remember, Newsmax is also free on streaming. Just go to Samsung Plus, Roku, Xumo, Pluto, Vizio, Apple, and more to tune in. You can even download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone and start watching now. Millions are making the switch to Newsmax. We watch Newsmax because Newsmax is real news for real people. Nothing gets past us. We and KOSTHD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Potholes. I'm Bree Tennis in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. AAA says the number of motorists reporting damage from potholes is up. They say the rain is causing the asphalt to crack, and more rain comes in, and that makes the crack a pothole. Caltrans says they're working on it. They have stationed special maintenance crews around LA with special pothole filler mix. If you see a pothole, they say avoid it if you can. They damage tires, rims, and alignment. President Biden will visit Monterey Park today, where 11 people were killed in a mass shooting back in January. He says he'll discuss efforts to reduce gun violence in America. The owners of 7 Orange County businesses are facing costly repairs after being robbed over the weekend. The burglaries happened between 4 and 4:30 in the morning Saturday. The manager of Mountain Money.
They definitely tried to get in my safe. We saw them with a crowbar trying to pick up our safe and take the bolts off the bottom of it. They just weren't able to get into ours, thankfully.
The restaurant does have to replace the front door because it was shattered. Detectives are working to see if the same people are responsible for all 7 break-ins. Financial experts are telling U.S. consumers not to panic after 2 bank failures. Chief investment strategist Michael Cerrillo at Ashton Thomas Private Wealth says the latest bank failures are far cry from what happened in 2008.
Things were not rated properly. Balance sheets were not in the position they are right now. Banks today are in much stronger positions than they were 10, 12, 13 years ago.
California's Silicon Valley Bank failed on Friday, followed by the closure of New York-based Signature Bank on Sunday. The state of California has canceled all salmon fishing from Oregon to the U.S.-Mexico border due to the drought. They say it's to protect the remaining fish population. Southline weather from KFI, rain likely by
Salmon's gonna be
mid-morning,
really
heavy by
expensive.
afternoon, highs in mid to upper 50s. Right now it's 54 in Laguna Beach. Santa Ana has 56, 55 in Agora, and 53 in Saugus. We leave local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Bree Tennant.
In Grand Terrace, there is a full freeway closure. This is on the 215 northbound from Washington to the 10. All lanes are going to be shut down for road work until 5. And in Commerce, this is on the 710 southbound at Washington. Little fender bender there. Out lanes are on the right shoulder. Watch for delays as you approach. Ontario, there's a full freeway closure. This is on the 10 eastbound from Vineyard to Holt Boulevard. Caltrans has all lanes there shut down for road work until 5. KFI and the Sky hopes to get you there faster. I'm Brian Van. Looking for your next investment opportunity? How about 100% passive ownership in commercial real estate? First National Realty Partners is backed by $1.5 billion in commercial real estate assets from Walmart, Whole Foods, Kroger's, Publix, and more. Grocery store anchored commercial real estate offers day one cash flow from high credit national tenants, tax advantages with 1031 exchanges, inflation fighting triple net lease, and more. Get information on current and upcoming opportunities today. Call 888-301-9010 or go to fnrpradio.com. Become an investor in owned and managed commercial real estate with national grocery store brand tenants producing quarterly cash flow. Call 888-301-9010 or go to fnrpradio.com. Securities are only available to verified accredited investors. Investments are subject to risk, including loss of principal. Cash distributions are not guaranteed. Any representations made about investment stability reflect FNRP's strategy and may or may not be realized. Visit fnrpradio.com. What would you do if the secret cabal of the most powerful folks in the United States told you, hey, let's start a coup? Back in the 1930s, a Marine named Smedley Butler was all that stood between the U.S. and fascism. I'm Ben Bowman. I'm Alex French. And I'm Smedley Butler. Join us for this sordid tale of ambition, treason, and what happens when evil tycoons have too much time on their hands. Listen to Let's Start a Coup on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you find your favorite shows.
Planning a spring getaway? This month, get 40% off Rosetta Stone's lifetime unlimited subscription and explore the world with bite-sized lessons in 25 languages, from Spanish and German to French and Korean, and even Portuguese and Turkish. Rosetta Stone prepares you for real-life conversations and will have you talking from your very first lesson. So visit rosettastone.com today for 40% off and get ready for the trip of a lifetime. Offer ends March 22nd. Rosetta Stone, how language is learned.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. If you're planning on going solar or even thinking about going solar, then listen up. Time is running out to secure the best possible solar reimbursement with the state of California. Last year, the state and your utility company got together and changed the way new solar systems get reimbursed for the power they produce. And as you can guess, it's not as good for you and me. In fact, it's about 75% less than the old system. The good news is there is a grandfathering period, and you can still permanently lock in those amazing rates. But time is running out. The deadline to have your solar documents filed is April 14th. So how do you do that? You start by calling Sunlux, and you call them today. Sunlux will walk you through how to lock in the current rate. Even if you're not ready to install the system, it's okay. Call Sunlux and get your documents filed. There is no time to waste to lock in the best returns on solar power that you will ever see. Start today at sunlux.com. Sunlux.com. CSLB 1008374.
This is Jacob Emrani. If you've been in an accident, call 844-24-JACOB. KFI, AM 640. KFI, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. KFI, AM 640. KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Really? Yeah. Especially when I got like 50 of them, bitch. Look at this move, Yosh.
To talk to George Norrie, call the wildcard line at 818-501-4109.
That was a few days later. Like a week later, there's still ice in my pizza.
818-501-4721.
For being
To talk toll free from east of the Rockies, call 800-825-5033. From west of the Rockies, toll free, call 800-618-8255. To reach George via Skype, use Skype name George97213. Send George a text message anytime at 818-298-6521. This is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
Well, this hour, as we continue chatting with Mark Cypher about his work on ozone therapy, even handwriting analysis, we'll have some fun with that. We'll take your calls as well on Coast to Coast AM. Tax season, always a crazy time, isn't it? But you can feel even more stressful if you call victims of fake IRS calls. Scammers pretending to be IRS agents will ask for personal information, bank accounts, or for you to wire money on the spot. Be smart, just hang up. The IRS normally doesn't contact taxpayers that way. They go through the mail. It's important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives. If your personal information gets exposed so often, making it dangerously easy for a cyber criminal to steal your identity. Protecting that identity can be easy with LifeLock by Norton. LifeLock detects and alerts you to potential identity threats that you might not spot on your own, like loans taken out in your name. If you become a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but it's easy to help protect yourself with LifeLock. Identity theft protection starts here. Join now, save up to 25% off your first year with promo code George. Call 1-800-LifeLock or head on over to LifeLock.com and use promo code George for 25% off.
Oh, you're done, baby. Are you done?
Real people, real stories. I've had acute eczema. I have tried every cream and ointment that you can imagine. It was pretty miserable. So I started taking Avora, and at this point, I don't want to ever be without it.
Our little dog developed this lymph problem. The chemotherapy lasted for 6 months. He started developing more lymph nodes that were swelled up. So I thought I'd just try carnivore. The lymph nodes started to go down, swelling did. Then I took him into the vet and checked out, and there was no signs at all inside. My cat had issues that developed in his eye, so my veterinarian said, you know what, just go ahead and remove the eye. I heard the carnivore advertising, so I said, you know what, I'm going to order this product. They did all the tests. I kid you not, this product saved his eye.
Call 866-836-8735. That's
Nice quick, though.
866-83735. Or visit carnivore.com. That's CARNIVORA.com.
Huh?
And welcome back to Coast. George Norrie back with Mark Cypher. His book, Ozone Therapy for the Treatment of Viruses. Mark, what is science beginning to say about this? Are they jumping on this bandwagon?
Well, there are a number of scientists that are actually very involved in it. I discovered an article from Harvard Medical School where they took a zebrafish and they purposely wounded the tail of the fish. And the fish manufactured hydrogen peroxide. Ozone is O3. Hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. It's kind of like water, but they're very similar disinfectants. And what they discovered, this is an obvious, that a gene that manufactures hydrogen peroxide. So I think the next step would be to find the gene that manufactures ozone. One of the ads that you had talked about stem cells. Ozone also triggers the release of stem cells from the bone marrow. And as I mentioned before, I've been running these things and it's reproducing 100,000 white blood cells a second, 2 million red blood cells a second. You have to be in awe of the majesty of our immune system. And the more you study the immune system, the more you learn that all we have to do is emulate that, and we will protect ourselves against future emerging viruses.
Is it magical?
I think life is magical. I think the Chambers Brothers are magical. I love listening to that song, I have to tell you. But I think, you know, I think when you look at the ozone layer, I think it's magical in the sense that it's unbelievable. I mean, I don't believe it. It's impossible for me to believe it when I keep reading and reading it. The ozone layer, which is protecting our planet from, you know, cosmic rays, is less than an inch thick. It's less than a millimeter thick. How is that possible? This giant planet of ours, small, but it's a giant planet for us. This tiny little layer of ozone, O3, is absorbing the cosmic rays and allowing life to evolve on the Earth. I think that is magical, and I think, you know, our very existence is magical. So it's really, I think, you know, just, you know, having respect for Mother Nature. In fact, I dedicate the book to Mother Nature because she has given us the answer. Just as she taught us how to fly, how to learn how to, you know, with airplanes, she will teach us how to protect ourselves against many, many diseases, including cancer, you know, herpes, Lyme disease, and all of that. There's many different forms of viral-related, you know, diseases that ozone therapy will you know, benefit you from.
Don't they put some ozone generators by wells and for treatment of water?
Yeah, they used to purify municipal water supplies. Finally, now the Olympic swimming pools. What was happening is the Europeans were coming over to America, and they'd be swimming in the American pools and looking using chlorine. And so they finally, you know, shamed them to say, you know, use ozone. So they now use using light. And the water is so pure in these swimming pools. The myth that I've heard is that people, you know, with the swimmers, they'd rather drink the swimming pool water than the water coming out of the tap because it's that pure.
As long as nobody else was in the pool.
Yeah. Let's go to another thing it's treat is those superbugs, which has invaded so many hospitals.
Sure.
So it's very, very important. I think I really do think it's the most important story in the world. Look at how our entire society just collapsed and the cities became ghost towns because of this COVID thing. And COVID really is a mild virus. Ebola, as I mentioned before, is a much more dangerous virus.
Sure.
And had Ebola been able to spread like COVID, and they continued to denigrate the ozone therapists, it would have been worse than what an asteroid would have done. We just wiped out civilization. So it's really a, you know, wake-up call. I'm pleading with the congressman. You know, I've listened to these congressmen over and over again, congresswomen as well. I wrote, you know, President Trump, Vice President Pence, President Biden, Vice President Harris, Mitt Romney.
Any response at all, Mike?
I got, out of all the letters I got a very nice letter from the CEO of the Green Bay Packers. I wrote to every single football owner and baseball owner. If he was the only one who responded. Sheldon Whitehouse, I mentioned Sheldon Whitehouse has responded positively. I got a nice letter from President Biden, but it didn't say anything. It was just one of these stock letters that really didn't deal with the issue of the point of it. So
Thank you for writing.
Yeah, I think it's we're at the crux of an important moment in society. I think it's kind of like a digital photography, you know, wiped out Kodak. I think ozone therapy will make a lot of the unnecessary drugs, you know, we won't need them because, you know, ozone will take care of a lot of those problems. So, you know, there is the pharmaceutical industry, I think, which is possibly, you know, one of the reasons why it hasn't been accepted as well as it should have.
We got a whole bank of phone calls coming in for you, so let's go to them. Let's start with Brendan in Austin, Texas. Welcome to the show. Hey, Brendan, go ahead.
Hey, thank you guys so much, Doctor and George. I just got to say for all the listeners that we got to start with the good news because we're talking about ozone. The ozone layer is healing everybody. I'm sure some people have heard about that, but that's not talked about often. By 2045, it's supposed to be completely healed. So don't give up protecting the earth and protecting life, people. We can do it. That's success. Ozone layer is healing. So, Doctor, the FDA and others have all put in parts per million for the limits for ozone, and I was researching web purifiers this week, and it's quite a coincidence. Awesome show. It's nice to some information about to that, and I was surprised to find out that a lot of the air purifiers on Amazon are not regulated, which was surprising. Hospitals use ozone to disinfect things, but nobody's allowed to be in the room. And with the Amazon air purifiers, you put that in your house and you just have it running all the time. And that is potentially the problem that they're saying, is that with the hospital ozone, it clears the surface. So whenever you're breathing it in, it creates a lot of problems in your lungs. And I was wondering, Doctor, do you think that that is a big problem, that there's this discrepancy, between the two, that, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here, but.
Well, you want to talk about it breathing in. Is there a danger of breathing it in, Mark?
Actually, he brings up a very good point. But the truth of the matter is, an ozone generator is extremely mild amount of ozone is not going to do anything. If you're really in a room with intense ozone generators, do not do that. But if there's an ozone machine somewhere, it's not going to matter. Some of the studies I've done and read about in the 1920s, people that had tuberculosis, they had these ozone machines, and they were helping alleviate those symptoms. So mild amount of breathing is not going to do anything. As I mentioned before, our body has the ability to self-heal. So if there was a little bit of injury occurring, it will self-heal. Whereas the viruses cannot self-heal. So if ozone tears the lipid envelope, the outer skin of the virus, it will die. It cannot, reproduce. It can't, self-medicate. So I would say, you do not want to be in a room where intense ozone generators are, but mild amounts are not going to mean anything.
Next up, let's go to Jill in Santa Barbara, California. Welcome to the program. Hi, Jill.
Why, thank you very much, and I hope you can hear me, because I can hear two different George soundtracks going in the background. Can you hear me?
We hear you well.
Okay, well, good. Thank you. I have two different items, and I wanted to say how much I enjoy this. I have experience with great satisfaction speaking to different graphoanalysis experts, and it's so meaningful. It's just absolutely so meaningful. Like any true science. But the curious thing is, when I was in high school, at Santa Barbara High School, I used to get detention for my handwriting. And I would have to come in an hour early and actually write on the blackboard over 100 times, "I will not write like this."
What was wrong with the way you were writing? What was wrong with it?
Yeah. Pardon me?
What was wrong with the way you were writing?
Well, I didn't really take it to heart, because my writing is sort of lyrical, and I wound up actually in college having an art teacher of mine say to me, "Is that your handwriting is just beautiful?" He said, "Always remember how you do your handwriting, how you do your cursive before you sit down and to paint or to draw."
Mark, is it fair to discipline kids because of their handwriting?
Well, I would look at it in a positive way, because it's fine motor control. Sometimes I have good fine motor control, sometimes I don't. In general, boys do not have as good fine motor control as girls. So if the assignment, she said, I will write in a much better way over and over again, I would look at it in a positive way. They're actually getting her to retrain her brain. So rather than see it in a negative, it's actually the positive thing if the person tries to improve the legibility of their handwriting, and even having the time to write this 30 times so it's more legible. I would see it as a way of retraining the brain. Just like, remember how hard it was to learn how to throw a frisbee? You got to practice and practice and practice until you can get to throw it. And it's the same kind of thing. If your handwriting is really illegible, to really work hard to make it more legible, is retraining the brain. It's a very positive thing to do.
I can't remember about that. What point in a kid's school year is he taught how to handwrite instead of
grade, which to me was fourth grade. We learned cursive, so we learned handwriting, first, second, and third grade, how to print, and then you move into cursive in fourth.
Why do doctors have such a horrible handwriting?
I think, they don't want you to know what that is doing.
I don't know how pharmacists can read the prescriptions they write.
I think that's and as I mentioned, a lot of executives are very rapid handwriting. And I think that's one of the reasons. They're trying to get as much done as rapidly as possible.
East of the Rockies, Vasil's with us in Texas. Welcome to the program. Hey, Vaz, go ahead.
Hello, how you doing? I was wondering, you said the best way is to use pure oxygen, into an ozone machine. Since oxygen is O2, where would the extra oxygen come from? Would it change the O2 to O1 carbon monoxide? And I have a follow-up question.
Carbon monoxide is carbon and oxygen. So we're just talking about oxygen. The medical doctors, they do not take ozone from the atmosphere. They take ozone from oxygen. So you have to have oxygen tanks. And the oxygen tanks are used to convert O2, which is oxygen, into O3, which is ozone.
Yeah, the oxygen we breathe in is O2, right?
Yes, we're breathing in O2, and ozone is O3.
What converts it to O3?
Electric spark or ultraviolet light.
Okay, some kind of procedure will do. Interesting. Okay, and what else did you have, Vaz?
I was wondering, on the same note, where's the extra oxygen coming from? Does it make it O1? And what is O1?
It makes it O3, not O1.
I know, but it's taking it from somewhere. I mean, it's not, it's coming from somewhere. It has to be coming from O2, huh?
Yeah, if you have, O2 and O2 would be, you have, it changes from O2 to O3. So it's just a molecule with three, how water is H2O, with one hydrogen and two oxygens. Well, oxygen is O2, it's two molecules of oxygen. O3 is three molecules of oxygen in a triangle.
And there isn't an O1, it's just O, right?
It would just be a single oxygen, yeah. And what's happening, O3 is unstable, ozone is unstable. It needs another electron, it needs another thing to make it stable. That's why it's detrimental to viruses, because it'll take some from the skin, the outer skin of the virus, it'll oxidize it, and it'll put a little tear in the virus.
I don't know, Gary's with us. Welcome to the show. Hi, Gary.
Hey, George, another great guest, another great show.
Good guy. Sure is.
Hey, Mark, I studied a lot of this, not nearly as in depth as you, but quite a bit about 14 years ago or so. I contracted some kind of a disease, and I still have it. And the doctors, they're not real good at figuring it out at all, and they kind of don't care. And I actually tried hydrogen peroxide, and there used to be a website on Coast at one time. I'm not sure, I can't remember real good anymore. But I tried 3%, and I ended up puffing 3%, and it almost gave me a stroke, I think. I don't know, but I ended up going to the hospital and sick. I ended up losing my house and everything. Pretty torn out. I was actually going to at one time try to get either ozone or hydrogen peroxide intravenous, but now I can't afford hardly anything. And the thing about all this stuff that you're talking about is big pharma. They figured out a lot of this stuff a long time ago really well. And big pharma hates it. They put the kibosh on all of it. And, I'd love to try whatever. I need to get cured of what I am. I'm dying from what I got. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Well, I would suggest, there were ozone deficits about 350 throughout the country. Dr. Frank Schallenberg was in Las Vegas, and he's got a newsletter, and I would suggest maybe contacting him, and he might have a list, of ozone therapists.
These are all licensed practice physicians, aren't they?
Yes, these are medical doctors, and as I mentioned before, as long as you can establish that it's done safely, it's completely and utterly legal. In fact, it even states that in this crazy Title 21, which calls it a toxic gas, no medical application, but further down
Watching girls do this is like, it hurts me so much. They have that one race with those ladies. Those group pictures are crazy.
It's disrupting the machines themselves. So it is legal. And these are medical doctors. Medical doctors. My co-authors, Dr. Howard Rabbi, Dr. Robert Rowan, Dr. Perez Almeida. These have been ozone therapists for more than 20 years. They do this daily on the cup. So I would suggest you to look at the book too, and there's a whole list of ozone therapists in the book as well.
Mark, I'd be curious to see what these doctors feel about hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Do you think they'd say it's good too?
Yes, they would. And a lot of the doctors that ozone therapists also have these hyperbaric chambers. And again, your head is not in there. You're not breathing it in. It's for the body. So your body absorbs, the oxygen and the ozone.
It's dramatic, isn't it?
Yeah. Very beneficial. I mean, all it is, as I said, our own immune system is actually producing them.
This guy's dick fell out mid-run.
In the book, how when President Trump had COVID, he went into the hospital and he was out, and over the weekend they cured him. They gave him antibodies from a similar coronavirus. And what the antibodies were doing, they didn't say this, but they were manufacturing ozone. That was what was curing him. The vaccines don't cure you. The vaccine alerts your immune system. It's your immune system which cures you. So how does the immune system do that?
Exactly.
Yes,
Mark,
paper.
we're going to come back and take final calls with you in just a moment. Ozone therapy, that's the name of it.
Coast Insiders, the new version of the Coast to Coast AM app is now available for iPhone and now Android 4.0 and above. Listen
I did that on Summer's Hospital.
Anywhere,
Really?
anytime. Go to coasttocoastam.com and download it today.
I'm Bree Tennis in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. President Biden will visit Monterey Park today, where 11 people were killed in a mass shooting back in January. He plans to discuss efforts to reduce gun violence in the nation. Parts of Ventura and Santa Barbara County are currently under evacuation orders over mudslide and flash flood fears, with the atmospheric river pushing in. National Weather Service says we can expect heavy rain by afternoon.
No.
2 to 4 inches of rain expected for the coast and valleys, up to 6 inches
I
for
was
the
6
mountains.
inches in the
A
mountain.
student from Lawndale has died from
I'll give you
some
6
type of
inches in the mountain
accident during
tonight,
PE
girl.
class last Thursday. LA County School District has not released information as to what happened or who the student was. And today is Pi Day. That's March 14th. The first 3 digits of pi, 3.14. There are deals to be had on just about anything round. Southbound weather from KFI, rain likely by mid-morning, highs near 50. Right now it's 55 in Costa Mesa, 56 for Garden Grove, it's 54 in Malibu, and 53 in Northridge. We leave local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Bree Tennant.
In Grand Terrace, there is a full freeway closure. This is on the 215 north south of Washington to the 10. All lanes together shut down for road work until 5. And in Commerce, this is on the 710 southbound at Washington. Little fender bender there, taking up the right lane. Watch for delays as you approach this area. Ontario, there's another full freeway closure. And eastbound from Vineyard to Holt Boulevard. All lanes there are going to be shut down for road work until 5. KFI in the sky hopes to get you there faster. I'm Brian Van.
The podcast Let's Start a Coup wonders, what if the secret cabal of the nation's most powerful people tried to overthrow the president? Explore how it almost happened to FDR in the 1930s in this darkly comedic retelling of one of American history's weirdest things.
And for you, Major General Smedley Butler, nothing will ever do the same. Why? Is it something bad?
Listen to Let's Start a Coup on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
KFI, AM 640, the Planet Organic. Celery from
They're not for the venomous.
fruit, vegetable, and any market. The Tim Conway Jr. Show. They're just crazy people buying my set. Live 4 to 7 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. You know how excited I was when I was quoted by Time Magazine? You made the news. Yeah, it said others have said, and then my quote. Do you have any
excited I was saying that to
Oh, well,
me.
since you're
Bill Handel, that was big news, at least in my world. Live 6 to 9 a.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Anytime I hear something rustling downstairs or outside the bushes, my first instinct is to lean over and go, hey, Jack, hey, can you go downstairs? See what's going on. The Tim Conway Jr. Show. If I hear you scream twice, I'll call the cops. Live 4 to 7 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Please let us serve our kind in federal prisons.
And the judge said, no, thank you. You will serve in the state prison.
None of those three are going to suffer from constipation ever again.
Oh, Bill.
What? Bill Handel. Is it the food? It's the food.
Yeah, it's the food.
Yeah, it's the food. Yeah.
Live 6 to 9 a.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. I mean, the hypocrisy is stunning. It's breathtaking on this.
And even the most rabid anti-abortion group of people.
How do you argue with a 10-year-old girl forcing her to go to church? Bill Handel, a 10-year-old. Live 6 to 9 a.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Picture yourself in a boat on a river with tangerine trees and marmalade skies. Somebody calls you, you answer quite slowly. A girl with a light up drove by.
To talk to George Norrie, call the wildcard line at 818-501-4109. The first-time caller line is 818-501-4721. To talk toll-free from east of the Rockies, call 800-825-5033. From west of the Rockies toll-free, call 800-618-8255. To reach George via Skype, use Skype name George 97313. Send George a text message anytime at 818-298-6521. This is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
We'll be back with final calls with Mark Cypher in just a moment on Coast to Coast. His book is called Ozone Therapy for the Treatment of Viruses. Next hour, Sal Santoro back with us as we talk about magic and witchcraft right here on Coast to Coast AM. Have you signed up yet?
Coast to Coast Insider, because I can tune in at any time of day.
Hi, I'm Julio from Toledo, Louisiana. We like being an insider because of all the interesting information.
I'll Coast Insider because I can listen to any show, anytime, anywhere, if I'm in the garden or in the kitchen, sitting walk on the beach. And there's no more food to fight for me. It's amazing. Give it a try.
Do give it a try. A couple ways to sign up to become a Coast Insider. One, our website, coasttocoastam.com. Right at the top of the homepage, it says Insider. Click it, fill out the information. The other way is to download the free Coast to Coast app to your smartphone. You should grab it anyway. But you can sign up to be an insider through that too by clicking profiles and then subscriptions. And if you live in Canada or worldwide, you now can become a Coast Insider. So take advantage of it. Now here's something for you to just calm your nerves.
Increase your energy and stamina while enhancing your mental clarity, focus, and memory. Start your day with Elevate to improve your mood and alleviate stress. Then wind down at night with Accelerate for mental and physical relaxation while master cleansing and detoxifying, promoting healthy weight loss. Accelerate and Elevate. George's Power Pack.
I started not long ago with my 61 away from what it's done for me with energy and focus and clarity and I'm not sure that it's amazing. And using the interest off my wrist, I was feeling an underlying exhaustion that I could not shake. These are a gift. My mood has been incredible and absolutely lovely. Well, I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I have a lot of kids. I would take it on a day would last until I took the accelerate. So before I started taking the elevate and the accelerate, I would typically experience some kind of anxiety or mood swings. Since taking the product, I haven't taken any over-the-counter medication or prescription. Just generally happy.
I had an anxiety attack every 4 or 5 days, and I have had one depressive thought. I've not been anxious. I've not been jittery. First time I took the pill, I didn't know what to think. It felt good. I felt focused. It was like a drive inside me all of a sudden. I was just excited. I was like, this for real.
Definitely know that they not only give you the energy, not only give you the body, but what has to do with my mood and mood.
George's Power Pack. Order now and receive free gifts and refreshing weight loss tablets. Accelerate, elevate, and be slim. Order now at healthylooking.com or 800-394-9930. Don't forget promo code George for free shipping. That's 800-394-9930 or at healthylooking.com.
If you want to improve your marksmanship, you need a Mantis X. The Mantis X can improve your abilities dramatically, and it is a must for every responsible gun owner. The Mantis X is a high-tech but easy-to-use system used extensively by the military that improves your aim quickly and gives you confidence in your ability to protect what you love. Here's how it works. You attach the Mantis X to your firearm, connect with an app on your instant feedback on what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and how to correct your technique. The Mantis X is like a firearms instructor in your pocket. 94% of those users improve within 20 minutes using Mantis X. The best part is that you can use it at home. And the other best part is the best in the world do what they call dry fire practice at home. And the Mantis X is the best way to train at home. No driving to the range, spending money on range fees or ammo. And you save a ton of money and improve your shooting. Start improving today. Get your MantisX.com. That's Mantis, MANTIS X.com. Marvelous Entertainment and Uncle Marvin Sunderland have released the newest in action adventure science fiction that specifically deals with the question,
Are you done?
are we alone in the universe? This action-packed drama includes a 7-novel masterpiece, comic books, video games, and movies of Sergeant Waggett's journeys across the universe. Get 20% off the entire 7-novel series and all future graphic novels. Enter coupon code Coast to Coast, all lowercase on Marvelous.com. That's MARVALEOUS.com.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
And welcome back, George Norrie with Mark Seifert. Mark, what was that aha moment for you when you're doing your research on ozone therapy that just overwhelmed you? Just wow.
I think when I called Dr. Howard Robbins and Dr. Robert Rowan, by the way, is a graduate of Johns Hopkins University and University of California, San Francisco Medical School, and he wanted to go to Sierra Leone, West Africa, to treat the Ebola pandemic. And he called up Dr. Robbins.
Look at this one.
And he said, would you accompany me to treat, this was in 2014, the pandemic,
86%.
Ebola pandemic.
Why did this have 86% in that song?
Yeah, you're sick in mind, forget it. So Rowan said, well, I'm going any. Dr. Robbins said to himself, I'm going to let him get all the credit. So he called him right back and said, okay, I'll go with you. So they got 20 ozone machines from Longevity Research, which the FDA has just forced them out of business. So that's a terrible start to this. But in any event, Longevity Research gave them 20 ozone machines, and they went to Sierra Leone, and they treated Ebola.
What's that thing called? Mine?
The aha moment for me was, who in their right mind would go to an Ebola hotspot? Remember during the COVID pandemic, we were wearing gloves.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And, well, COVID has maybe a 2% death rate said to myself, if these guys are going to West
There are a
Africa
million
to treat
people online. I
Ebola,
just
they must
doubt
know
that.
what they're
Maybe
doing.
one time.
And that was
Wait,
really a
are you a
moment to
human?
me, that they knew that ozone therapy would disrupt the lipid envelope of the virus, the outer skin, and would kill Ebola. And that's what happened. So that would be really
That
the
sucks.
aha moment for me.
Unbelievable. Let's take some final calls here for you. We will go next to Cheryl in Texas. Welcome to the program. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, George. What a great show.
Thank
You're
you.
always a pro. Thank you, Doctor. I wanted to tell you, please, all of the listeners, please listen to him. Listen to what's being said. The pharmaceutical industry and the doctors and the insurance companies have been restricting ozone therapy and hyperbaric oxygen. Today, the only way you can get some of these therapies if they're amputating parts of your body, you have to have 2 amputations before the insurance companies will allow you to have any type of therapy coverage. Years ago, I was poisoned by solvents in my workplace 35 years ago. The doctors prescribed
Robot.
filters,
Run
and they
2,
had
3,
ozone
4. That
therapy
was really good.
switches on them. Dr. Gunnar Horscher out in California is written up in the New England Journal of Medicine. He highly, he did.
I liked it much more
experiments
when it was
and
like, which
studies
one's the
on
fire hydrant?
hyperbaric oxygen and
Yo,
ozone
dog.
therapy, and for toxic
Yoshi.
encephalopathy and people that were poisoned by solvents. And it is used for scuba divers. These things are used for scuba divers that have accidents in the water. It pushes oxygen down into the cells. I have talked to people that they're about to amputate the legs of their children that have had a sports injury. And the doctors aren't even offering any type of these therapies. The insurance companies aren't offering. They have to carry this question to the doctor.
Look at all these people I'm beating up.
Child had this therapy.
Then this bitch is gonna be right there.
So
I like all the other ones. Oh, on top. They're not accepting friend requests. I had you to be friend.
You just never know. Our FDA, insurance companies, doctors, all the doctors that make money off of denying this care. We need to start paying attention to specialists like this doctor and start reading, because if you can kill viruses and bacteria, help save limbs, save lives, cancer, then why not? But you have to be proactive. You have to ask doctors for this treatment.
Absolutely. And Cheryl, he's a PhD type, but he's a great researcher.
Look at that move, Yoshi.
Do people confuse you being a medical doctor sometimes?
I testify, and I'm a public doctor, and I say, well, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm a PhD. I always feel, a medical doctor, that should be called doctor, for the most part, but I did a PhD. What I would say, what this lady is saying,
Flat out
exactly
killed this bitch.
we were moving 1,000 people a day, and during the winter, 2,000, 3,000 people a day, 100,000 people a month were dying from COVID.
Huh?
Pleading to the Congress to just look at the,
I ask questions, huh?
Alberto Hernandez studies with the 18 COVID patients and
Hey, everyone.
ozone therapy were out 7 days compared to 28 days. It also handled all the different mutations. I was pleading with them. So I've been living in the Twilight Zone and listening to this lady. She's telling you the truth. The opposition's been unbelievable in the traditions for publishing this book, because it's been a tremendous opposition. But I knew the truth because I look at facts. The facts are this Reed Paul Wentworth study that our own antibodies manufacture ozone. I'm not making this up. And read Dr. Alberto Hernandez, his clinical study, the Dr. David Brownstein.
Can you do podcasts at the same time?
Treated 37 COVID patients with ozone therapy.
I think so.
And a few other things, vitamin therapy.
Because this one keeps out.
Cured all of them. So there have been clinical studies And what she's saying is completely correct.
Room, dog.
I looked at very close relative because she just didn't believe
Yeah, dog, you're
in this because of negative opposition from the FDA.
Fuck you.
Dr. Rowan
No shit.
was called in Texas. He was a pilot dying of one of these superboats, and the hospital did not let him into the hospital to treat this guy, and he died up to a few days later. And I also
It's a nice hospital,
cruise lines in one of
and
the every
great
cruise line
siege.
they have an ozone therapist on board their ship. I wrote to the 3 top cruise lines. They never
Yo,
heard
dog.
back from them.
What in the
It
fuck?
just stopped. It's plain
Anything
No.
to sanitize the ship.
I still don't know how the fuck that one guy did that one thing. Ninja
because if
clean.
one person gets, a communicable virus on the ship, 800 people.
Ernest
have that
Shackleton?
virus. We've seen that over and over.
Yeah, are you a little Ernest Shackleton now?
Easy to treat. This is simple stuff. So this lady was totally on point. She knows from direct experience the opposition that we've been facing. But thank heavens again for your show, and for the publisher in the traditions for producing this book.
He's to the Rockies. Joe's with us in Ohio. Hey, Joseph, go ahead.
Oh, thanks,
My
George.
name is
Thanks for taking my call. And Mark,
Oh,
you're
shit.
a true patriot. So are you, George. I'm going to talk fast because it's very important I get in what I need to get in. I've had about 12 to 15 of the ozone treatments where they take the blood out and then they run it through the infrared. It's called a 10 test. It's a great, great treatment. I've had roughly 500 hyperbaric chamber treatments. Wow. Well, I'm in Ohio. I first had the treatment in 2018, the ozone, and then again in 2021 in Ohio. And the people that where I was going in Ohio were trained by Dr. Rowe. They flew out in 2021 and were trained by him. But there's a big piece that you're missing, and it's huge. This is you've heard of G. Edward Griffin. He was at the Red Sox. He had a doctor friend of mine. He's the best of the best. His name's Dr. Alfonso Manzo. You're missing the AI and the nano part of this. It's huge. It's huge, and that's the big part. Because I've had more. I was diagnosed from the Environmental Health Center in Dallas with toxic encephalopathy in 2015. And you had a past guest in 2012 that's no longer with us. His name is Michael Chapla. He was a pioneer with Tesla technology, and he was able to talk to Dr. Manzo right before he was taken out and poisoned in January of 2020. These are friends of mine. They're the best. If you have to look them up, Dr. with Griff, that's who I know. So these are good treatments, but it's the AI and the nano. This is all DARPA technology. This is a whole different animal that you're missing. So please look him up, Dr. Alfonso Manzo.
He's a good guy. He was a good guy. Mark, what about nanotechnology?
Well, I have mixed feelings about it. I think, I know that, I'm from the 1950s when we had the polio vaccine, and it wiped out polio, and smallpox vaccine wiped out, smallpox. And those work. The deaths of people that didn't get vaccinated. But we don't need this. The ozone therapy was accepted. We wouldn't have to wait a year. One of the problems was we had to wait a year for the vaccines to come out. And during that process, 700,000 people died waiting for the vaccines to come out. And then there was misinformation, disinformation, and there were different kinds of vaccines that worked different kinds of ways. So, in anything else, I think some of the kids that are autistic might have gotten vaccines at the wrong time in their childhood. There's something to be said for that as well. So, there's a danger with all of this stuff. That's the problem. But in general, the vaccine's been very effective. But it took 700,000 deaths. ABC and telling you there's a lot. The ozone therapy. I have the warning letter, the exact warning letter that they sent to all these ozone therapists, these are medical doctors throughout the country, telling them you will not put anything about this on your website, or we will prosecute. Dr. Howard Leibowitz in Los Angeles puts this on his website. website, you can see what he said he was treating, successfully treating COVID, and they shut him right down. Dr. Ron was shut down very well, and so was Dr. Robby. So they could continue to treat because it's legal, but they couldn't advertise it. And that's how crazy
That makes no sense.
no sense at all. And what's crazy to me is the New York Times. I put an ad in the New York Times, the quote of 3 medical doctors, 2 of them, saying that ozone therapy was, just praising my book, and the third one was simply saying that ozone therapy will kill viruses. And the New York Times would not publish my ad. They turned down a lot of money. They wouldn't put the ad in, and the reason is because their lawyers read the FDA regulation that ozone is toxic gas, no medical application, and they're afraid. And I'm writing back to the Time, the head of the New York Times. I'm saying, you're a journalist.
Please play them at the same time. That'd be tight.
The lawyer is reading a
He's
sentence.
smart as fuck. He's not an asshole iPhone douche.
Same thing with the Washington Post and Wall Street Journal. The information I'm telling you has not been in mainstream media.
Mute this shit.
Anderson Cooper, I sent in my book. I listened to all the people at 60 Minutes, and I've yet to hear from them. It's like crazy. This is scientific fact. They went in a different direction. I go in the other direction. Facts are so clear. Ozone is simply therapy. It's simply enhancing what our own immune system is doing. So you're right. It's just you're living in a crazy situation. And again, George, thank heaven for your show. I put parapsychology for 15 years. I know all about parapsychology.
Yoshi, you got a dog. Dog.
That's your core. It's who you are. So, working over your ass, and then music, I love music as well. So I connect on so many levels of what you're doing. It's so important. It's because you're open. That's all it is. You're just open to what's happening in the world. You want the truth. If we can help one person, like Cheryl in Texas, we can help one person. It's worth the program. Completely agree. I'm trying to save lives. That's really the reason for this book. I'm pleading with the congressmen to open their offices. With something we don't stop. I'm sure 3 or 4 times with Bernie Sanders, who was actually my brother, sent him the book. Mitt Romney, and I'd like to get back to these people. I sent them the book, read the book, and you'll see it's just
Or have a staff member read it. If they don't want to read it, have a staff member read it and take notes and make a report. No?
Yeah. And President Biden has this moonshot for cancer. Well, the first guy I listened to in 1984, Dr. Freebaum.
Thanks for the guys for doing what you do. The name of the book is Ozone Therapy. Up next, Magic and Witchcraft on Coast to Coast.
Never miss a detail on a show or a guest. Sign up for the Coast Zone email newsletter. Available for free at coasttocoastam.com.
Some experts predict that property values might decline over the next few years, making it more challenging for borrowers to tap into that home equity. If you need $75,000 or more, HMS Capital can help you borrow the money you need with the equity you built. So whether you want to consolidate debt, make home improvements, whatever your situation may be, I've done 2 mortgages with HMS Capital. Clearly, I'm a fan. I believe they are simply the best at what they do. Call 833-255-5698, 833-255-5698. Visit hmscapital.com.
Yo, dog. Yoshi, look at this move. Ding. Oh, God, Yoshi.
You locked your cat up.
Yeah. I hate this fucking commercial. It's the worst fucking commercial of all time. Kid, you're dumb. I'm just gonna tell you that. You're dumb. Okay, I'm a fucking plumber.
Your dream was really close enough.
And we have to stop that nasty stuff from invading your bathroom.
Yosh.
So you're a hero?
Try to be every day. We're rooter heroes.
Wow.
We make sure you live in a
Oh
safe
my god.
Thanks for rescuing George.
It's what a hero does.
It's not James. Call Reader Hero coming in air. Go online at readerhero.com.
We have got it covered.
Los Angeles, Orange County. Live.
Yosh.
On the iHeartRadio app.
More notice. I'm Ray Tennis in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. There's a new bill making the rounds that would force employers to give 90 days notice before mass layoff. Assembly member Matt Haney says the bill would also prohibit employers from forcing employees to sign away rights in exchange for severance pay. AAA says the number of motorists reporting damage from potholes is way up. They say the rain is causing the asphalt to crack, and more rain makes those cracks into a pothole. Calvin says they're working on it. President Biden will visit Monterey Park today, where 11 people were killed in a mass shooting back in January. He says they'll discuss in America. The owners of 7 Orange County businesses are facing costly repairs after being robbed over the weekend. The burglaries happened between 4 and 4:30 in the morning Saturday. The manager of Mountain Mike's Pizza says it seems the thieves knew what they were doing.
They definitely tried to get in my safe. We saw them with the crowbars trying to, pick up our safe and take the bolts off the bottom of it, but they just weren't able to get in.
That's right. The same blanket foot. Super safe place.
Proposition 22, which means drivers are not entitled to benefits like sick leave and unemployment. Hollywood says the Oscars were a huge success. Viewership up 18.7 million. That's about 12% according to Nielsen ratings. A 3.4 earthquake hit Big Bear yesterday afternoon. No damage reported, just a lot of snow shaking off roofs and trees. And today is Pi Day. That's March 14th. That's the first 3 digits in Pi, 3.14. There's deals to be had on just about anything around. Southline weather from KFI. Rain likely by mid-morning, heavy by afternoon. Highs in the mid-to upper 50s.
It's not perfect round, but
Placentia has 55. 54 in Westlake Village. And 55
your square peg has round.
Really local for the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Bree Tennis.
In Grand Terrace, there's a full freeway closure. This is on the 215 north
Domino
of Washington to the 10. All lanes
Really? Yep.
shut down for road work until 5. West Covina, this is on the 10 eastbound at Wolf Avenue. Little fender bender there, that's picking up the right lane. You drive this bunching up right as you approach this area. And it up to the Vineyard and Wolf Boulevard. South Andrews Allman shut down for road work until 5. KFI of the Skyhook, get you there fast for O'Brien Van.
Looking to invest in real estate as a way to diversify, hedge against inflation, and receive consistent quarterly cash distribution? With First National Realty Partners, you'll get access to commercial real estate investments that are reserved only for elite private institutions. You'll enjoy all the benefits of fully passive real estate ownership, like tax write-offs, limited liability structures, quarterly cash distributions, and the potential for upside at exit. First National Realty Partners has thousands of investors who collect rent from national brand tenants like Walmart, Target, Whole Foods, Publix, and many more. Call 888-301-9010. That's 888-301-9010. Or go to fnrtradio.com. That's fnrtradio.com. Choose your fully passive commercial real estate investment deal. Securities are only available to verified accredited investors. Investments are subject to risk, including loss of principal. Cash distributions are not guaranteed. Any representations made about investment stability reflect FNRT strategy and may or may not be realized. Visit fnrtradio.com.
On Ice-T's Daily Game podcast, the cultural icon unveils words of wisdom and motivational quotes he's collected over the years. No punches are pulled, as Ice shares his special brand of profound and brutal honesty on topics like romance, success, failure, and more.
You can't sit back and say, I'm going to win this game and not go to practice. You still got to play that game. Faith and your mind is just not going to make it happen.
Listen to Ice-T's Daily Game on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
I'm attorney Darren Capanoki, founder of 1-800-NO-COPS, reminding you to exercise your rights and just shut up. It doesn't make you look guilty, it makes you look smart. 1-800-NO-COPS, because no one looks good in handcuffs unless you're into that sort of thing. 1-800-NO-COPS.
Oh, good times are waiting on St. Patty's Day. Yeah, and Irish folk singer my list of talents. And now the top 5 regions to visit Toronto. Number 5.
St. Patrick's Day preview. Get a free plus Ray the PJ March 17th.
Number 4.
Ray Gun Gift Giveaway. toaster when you earn 500 points on the reward card. The 20th through 21st.
3.
The 20th through 21st.
3.
Try Good Friday. You can win up to $1,500 in free play playing slots with your reward card. Fridays 1 to 8 p.m.
And the number 2.
It's not luck. We work hard for you. That's why LA Times readers voted us the best casino in the Southland.
And the number 1 reason.
Eat, drink, and be Irish for a day. Discounts on draft beer and Irish whiskey at Olive Garden on St. Patty's Day.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo, straight from every tap in the house. It filters out the chlorine and contaminants while retaining healthy minerals, and there's no filters to change ever. It's maintenance free. New customers get a free Apapure antibacterial filter. That's worth $825. This ends March 31st. Call 800-803-2696. Visit likesourcewater.com. Taste and feel the difference.
This is Jacob Emma. If you've been in a truck accident, call repost 24 Jacob. AM 640. More stimulating talk.
How lucky can one guy be? Ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I hugged her, she hugged back. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a horrible boat? My head keeps spinning. I go twisting, thinking, grinning. If there's just to be given, my life is gonna be beautiful. Sun shining up this breath. It's just like the color said.
This is the absolute biggest fucking trap I've ever seen in my entire life. Really?
From the City of Angels, this is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
Up next, Magic and Witchcraft with Sal Santoro, Coast to Coast AM. The CC Radio 3 is what we call the almost everything radio. And with the addition of Bluetooth, you now have an immense palette of radio shows and podcasts available from any smartphone or speaker. And if you listen primarily to voice content, the CC Radio 3 is well worth the price alone. Audio quality for the spoken word sounds like we're sitting right next to you. Separate bass and treble controls can be adjusted to your perfect pitch to immerse yourself in audio clarity. The CC Radio 3 has great reception for long-range AM stations along with emergency capabilities like no weather and a 2-meter hand band. And it runs on the included power cord or a set of batteries for more than 170.
What happened to Bonnie Face?
To order the CC Radio 3, call C. Crane at 1-800-522-8863. Once again, that's 1-800-522-8863, or visit them online at ccrane.com. Also available at REI Weimar locations and Amazon.com. Glenn have released the newest in-action adventure science fiction that specifically deals with the question, are we alone in the universe? This action-packed drama includes a 7-novel masterpiece, comic books, video games, and movies of Sergeant Waggett's journeys across the universe. Get 20% off the entire 7-novel series and all future graphic novels. Enter coupon code Coast to Coast, all lowercase on Marvelous.com. That's MARVALEOUS/Coast. With inflation on the rise and the teetering stock market, now's the time to diversify into precious metals that you can store at your home. Go to bullionmax.com/coast and they'll ship your silver directly to your home, fully insured. Now start building your wealth in precious metals at bullionmax.com/coast. That's bullionmax.com/coast. Well, welcome back to Coast. George Norrie with you. Our health specialist Sal Santoro back with us, co-owner of the Crooked Path. Now, that's a leading traditional witchcraft store in the Los Angeles. Become one of the go-to sources for demystifying the misunderstood craft. Sal continues to strive to make the occult accessible and inclusive to all of those who seek it out. Sal Santoro back on Coast to Coast. Hey,